Good afternoon, St. Lucia, and welcome to another edition of Hard Talk here on Fire 107.7 FM. I am your presenter, Angie, and today we talk about the issues that matter. Chief among them, and it seems to be sparking increasing concern, is the administration's, the Philip Pierre-led administration's continued silence over the Maduro affair. This is an issue, you know. Why aren't our leaders saying anything? Why aren't they telling the people what this indictment could mean for the St. Lucian public? Will we ever know what is going on? I don't know. But I'm hoping that with time, the St. Lucian public, the government, will be able to explain to us exactly what this means for foreign relations in the region moving forward. But we have bigger fish to fry, St. Lucia. We have an issue which is developing right here in our island. And this issue is surrounding a St. Lucian citizen who is about to lose her livelihood. And of course, I am speaking about the lady who operates on the Raedry Beach. Yesterday, I touched on it a bit. And today, I want to ask the question: are we living in a society where certain people are full-fledged citizens and others are less than? What qualifies Marjorie to be the recipient of so much support in a similar situation, while this lady is being brushed discreetly under the rug? Two St. Lucians, both women, both facing the same threat: displacement, the loss of their livelihoods. Yet one sparked a revolution, and the other nothing. Radio silence. No support, not even a mention of what she is going through. Why? Why is it that some people can get recognition for their plight while others cannot? And I've seen this situation play out all over Facebook. And by the way, I want to send special good afternoon to our listeners, those of you joining us on the 107.7 FM frequency on your radio. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to the broadcast. Those of you who are tuned in to the Facebook platform and are watching Good afternoon to you as well. I see several people sending in greetings. Good afternoon to you. Those on the WhatsApp platform, good afternoon to you. And those of you listening via the Fire 107.7 link on the internet, thank you for joining us, and a special good afternoon to you as well. I'm unfamiliar with this lady's name, but I was scrolling through Facebook as I normally do when I want to just keep my finger on what is going on in the country. And I came across this photograph of a letter that was sent to this lady. I think her name is Alice, but I might be wrong. I know somebody out there knows more about this situation. But it seems to me that her plight is being ignored largely by the St. Lucian public. And it reminds me of the situation with the residents of Banans Bay. The way these people were treated, casually being brushed aside, pushed out. Doesn't matter that they'd been there for so many years, that they made their living in the area, or that they qualify for compensation under our civil code. But they were casually being pushed out in the name of progress and development. The lady's plight cannot even be taken to the relevant authorities, because all communication between the government of St. Lucia and the media, and therefore the people, has ceased. Yesterday we suffered a traumatic loss, the death of Lisa Joseph. The office of the Prime Minister issued a paragraph. Just a paragraph. We acknowledge that she's dead. May her soul rest in peace. Condolences to her family. I'm paraphrasing, of course. That's not what it said exactly. But basically, that is it. No recognition of a career that spanned decades, from radio to television, from the public service to the government information service. Radio silence. No address to the nation on events that are taking place in the region that could spell geopolitical turbulence for St. Lucian citizens worldwide, or even regional citizens, because, again, they've just gone silent. Now, if the Deputy Prime Minister can address the nation before elections on tourism, you're telling me, and I'm not saying that tourism is not important. Don't misquote me. Don't mistake my intentions here. Tourism happens to be our largest income earner, and it is a subject or an area of great importance to the people of St. Lucia. I agree with that. I understand that. I know how important it is. My issue is this. Where are the priorities? The Minister of Education made a brief statement when school reopened. Normally it's an address to the nation. Have they gone to sleep? This lady, these are the same people, guys. It's not a different set of people. These are the same people, the individuals who defied COVID laws, staged a massive protest to, in their words, protect the livelihood of a St. Lucian citizen who was being wronged by an investor, a foreign investor. The same thing is happening here. Another foreign investor, Isla Resorts, is saying to this lady, grab your stuff and get out. Radio silence. The same Richard Frederick, the same Kenson Casimir, the same Virginia Albert Poyot, because she is in the Senate. All of them who were on that beach. Nothing. In fact, the Crown Lands Department, which, if I'm not mistaken, operates under the auspices of the Ministry of Housing, which is headed by Richard Frederick, is the one asking this lady officially to leave. And our leaders have gone dormant. Talk of Caribbean facilitators. In the Maduro affair, people wondering, speculating, what does this mean? Reports that St. Lucians are quietly being denied visas from the United States and from Canada, I saw recently. Nothing. Is every single one of our ministers on vacation? Where is the Prime Minister? Where did they go? We don't know anything. We don't know what's going on. We're not being told anything. And it's almost as if they believe that if they ignore the situation, it will go away. I am here to tell you, St. Lucia, when these things are ignored, they tend to blow up. It's kind of like vines creeping onto your house. You see it climbing up the walls and you say, I'll leave that for tomorrow. You bat your eyelids and this vine has taken over your entire house, wrapping itself around your balusters, climbing your roof, punching holes through the galvanized and the plywood and whatever else. Where is the diplomacy? Where is our Minister of Foreign Affairs? It's not like this is his first rodeo. He's simply continuing his work. Nothing has changed, not even the carpets in the offices. Why isn't Alva Baptist saying anything on the geopolitical status of the Caribbean region? I saw a post. Well, it wasn't a post. It was a news story over the holiday season. And I think it was either DBS or Choice, I can't remember which station, carried the story. But it was a taxi driver operating from the arcade in Castries. And this man was highlighting the fact that despite there being so many cruise ship arrivals, that taxi drivers were not benefiting. And true to his word, the reporter and the camera person stood there and recorded several tourists simply walking past the taxi drivers and totally ignoring them. Even worse, the tourists were not even entering the vendor's arcade. They were not even poking their heads in out of curiosity to see, hey, what's in there? And we all know that white people, I'm not being racist, I'm simply making a comment. Okay, I'll change what I'm saying. We all know that tourists are curious. They want to see, they want to experience, they want to know. But you could see them just walking in the city, not saying anything, not even asking directions of the taxi drivers. He was greeting them and they were just saying, okay, hello, and walking away. Now, this man was saying that the taxi drivers need a voice. Because they are being cut out of the tourism dollar. They're not benefiting. Because every time you listen to the tourism minister speak, He keeps saying how great the tourism industry is doing. He keeps telling us that there is no need for concern. And the phrase that they like to use, well, if you cannot see that, you have a problem. But I'm looking. And if the taxi driver cannot see, I don't think he has a problem. I think it's not there. Because he's the one on the ground. He's the one living it, experiencing it, day in and day out. But all you hear, or all you used to hear, because these days we're not hearing anything. No plans for the new year. We have no idea what they're working on, where they are, what they're doing. We don't even know if these people are in the country. We don't even know. And this is concerning. Because don't tell me that if I can put two and two together, if I can listen or read a story on an indictment against the Venezuelan leader, I can connect it to the fact that St. Lucia has been called a transshipment point for drugs, guns, and ammunition for decades. I can connect it to the uptick in gun violence and homicides that we've been experiencing since 2021. I can further link it to the fact that the guns, narcotics, and firearms unit of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, it has been dismantling what they are calling a smuggling ring, a smuggling network, operating out of Port Castries, operating out of the courier service providers like Westec and FedEx and all of the above. And the post office. It's not that hard for us to imagine that St. Lucia might be one of the quote unquote facilitators along the Caribbean route and in Caribbean waters. And that's just me. That is just me. That is just my observations. You're telling me. And then now the ministers have disappeared. They've essentially disappeared. Now, I've seen stories. I saw the Minister of Education talk about the new school year and stuff like that. Today I read a story about the minister within the Ministry of Education and the Minister of Conflict Resolution, whatever that is, visiting schools for special education in the South. But where is the Prime Minister? Where is the Minister of Foreign Affairs? Where is the Deputy Prime Minister? Where are the senior ministers in the government? Where are they? And why have they gone silent when we need their reassurance the most? Where, oh, where have our ministers gone? Two weeks. This is the start of a new year. Okay, 7 days into the new year. The government didn't change. There were no major shifts. The ministers largely retained their same portfolios. There were very little changes. Richard Frederick is still the Minister of Housing. What's his name? I don't want Moses Jean-Baptiste. Moses Jean-Baptiste is still the Minister of Health. Ernest Hilaire is still the Minister of Tourism. Alva Baptiste is still the Minister of External Affairs. Philip J. Pierre is still the Prime Minister. Where are they? Nothing has changed. Nothing. Everything largely remains the same. Additions have been made, subtractions have been made, but nothing major, nothing significant, nothing over the top that would require these individuals to suddenly disappear. So, all the way in Venezuela, Maduro gets arrested and it sparks a reaction. The St. Lucian government is essentially missing in action. Today we had 4 cruise ships in the harbor. Where is Ernest Hilaire to say how great? Oh, look, here's the evidence. I told you things were great. Where is he preening and because that's what he normally does. Where has he gone? And I'm sorry, I don't accept that the pre-cabinet press briefing on Monday is cancelled until further notice because they're renovating the office of the Prime Minister. Hello, we have conference rooms in every single ministry. The office of the Prime Minister is at the waterfront. There is a string of government buildings right there. If one is not working, let's just walk 5 minutes to the next one and have it there. Where is our government? Now look at the contrast. In St. Kitts and Nevis, do you remember when MSR Media took Caribbean Galaxy to court and asked that St. Lucia intervenes or comes in to view the evidence so that they can clean up the CIP? We heard the Prime Minister say, it's not our business. We're not involved. It's not our fight. You have your issue with St. Kitts, you deal it with St. Kitts, don't involve St. Lucia. And government went on as usual, even though later on, persons who were responsible for our CIP were implicated in the fallout. It was not our problem. It was not our issue. It was not our fight. But all in a sudden, to borrow a phrase from the Prime Minister, Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela, in a whole other continent, not even in our region, not even in our archipelago. While St. Kitts and Nevis is a part of the OECS and a part of CARICOM, just like us, it's our neighboring island. It wasn't our fight. We had nothing to do with it. We continued with business as usual. But Nicolas Maduro, on the continent of South America, gets arrested, gets indicted. Caribbean collaborators are named. And all in a sudden, our government disappears? Am I wrong to make a connection? Am I reaching to make a connection between these two events? Am I exaggerating? Am I overthinking this? I need somebody to tell me. I don't think that I am. I really, really don't think that I am. Because here's the thing. The CARICOM Bureau of Heads of Government is made up of 3 member states: Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia. So this means St. Lucia is privy to what transpired. The indictment, the 25-page indictment that was brought down on Maduro, doesn't name any specific Caribbean politician or Caribbean country. It simply says it simply says collaborators and facilitators in along the Caribbean route and in Caribbean waters. I'm seeing statements from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ralph Gonsalve has come out and he shed some light, or tried to. Gaston Brown. Is it Gaston Brown? I mistake them sometimes, but a certain Caribbean leader. No, I think that was Skerrit. Yeah, it's Dominica. Or is it Antigua? I always get them mixed up because I don't know these people. I'll be honest with you. But another Caribbean leader has come out and said that we are going to be cooperating with the U.S. He was either from Dominica or Antigua. Sometimes the flags get me all mixed up. But this Caribbean leader came out and said he was cooperating. He said that he was going to be accepting persons, deportees from America. Gaston Brown has made changes because am I saying this right? I need to double check because I can't remember. Sometimes I get the leaders mixed up. Right, I'm correct. Gaston Brown from Antigua and Barbuda, yes. In light of the travel bans, has come out and made a statement to his people saying that he is cooperating. Even oh yeah, so I was right. I'm thinking that I don't know this guy, but I do know this guy. By the way, have you seen his Facebook posts? This man is crazy. Sidebar, people. Gaston Brown is I saw a Facebook, somebody, I'm laughing at this, but it's not really a reason to laugh. This man is a leader of a country in the free world. And I think he's taking his democratic or constitutional freedoms a bit too far. Because persons are coming out and attacking him on Facebook. I think somebody said that he was that they should come for him next, and this man went off on Facebook. He put his prime ministership on a side and went after this person in the most uncouth way. So, Mr. Brown, you are prime minister of a country. You cannot attack your citizens in such a manner on social media. And it shouldn't take anyone to tell you that this is a huge departure from decorum. But I digress. I mean, as bad as Philip J. Pierre is, I haven't seen him descend into that kind of chaos, and for that, I am very happy. At least he has lines that he's not going to cross. But then again, Philip J. Pierre never knows anything. He doesn't know. But then when he goes off on his long-winded explanations, he tends to know a lot of things that he didn't know. I want to make sure that I want to make sure that I am saying right. So Dominica, that's the gentleman. That is the gentleman that I saw making the statement. Let me look at his face properly. Yes. Okay. That is the gentleman I saw making the statement. He was saying that he is accepting deportees and he is willing to cooperate with the Americans and all of that in order to, smooth diplomatic relations between his country and the United States. Now, granted, St. Lucia's name has not appeared on the list. And we are hoping that it stays that way. Right? But where is our Prime Minister? Where is he? Is he sick? Is he on vacation? Is he even in the country? Where are the mouthpieces? If the ministers are incapacitated, where are the ministers? Where are the mouthpieces? Where is Mondi Lewis? Where is Melissa Paul? Where is Riani Isidore? Why aren't they speaking? They are very quick to attack people whenever these people do not subscribe to their ideology. Where are they now? And I'm asking this question because it almost seems as if they believe that we don't notice these things are happening. But we notice. We notice. We noticed that the United States was bombing ships in the region. And our leaders stayed quiet on that as well. But we let it pass because we were having our own issues. We were dealing with elections and all of that. So we let it slide. We definitely noticed that there was a U.S. military plane on our airport during the general elections. But again, it was elections, so we let it slide. But we knew it was there. We noticed. We definitely know, and we've noticed and we've realized that Donald Trump has arrested Nicolas Maduro. We noticed. And we're noticing the silence. We're noticing that our leaders are missing in action. And the excuse that, oh, we don't have a press room available at the moment. We notice it's an excuse. On Parliament days, there's no press room available. As the ministers walk in, there is a lobby where they stand and they speak to reporters. Just like everywhere else. And so you could have addressed the nation. It is a matter of national concern and national import because guess what? Just a thought. What if, and hear me out, what if the guns and the drugs that have been entering our borders for the past couple of years, what if they were coming from South America? Think about it. What if the guns, the drug trafficking network that the GNFU has been dismantling, what if they are being supplied with contraband, drugs, guns, and everything else from South America? What if? And you do need to explain to us, so why your first order of business was to make us more vulnerable. When you entered office in 2021, we noticed that you got rid of the canine unit. The same canine unit which discovered... we have a call on the line. Good afternoon, caller. You are on the air.
Good afternoon to you, Angie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fine. Good afternoon to your listeners. Angie, I heard you ask the question, where are the ministers?
I need to know where they
Why are they not speaking?
Are they in Martinique, by the
Angie,
way? Have you seen them? Have you seen them in Martinique? Is that where they are? Did they take a day trip? I don't know. Where are they?
Angie, I believe they're doing the things in silence. Listen, I believe because their names are not called like Dominica and Antigua, they will let the others speak. You know, Philip is never prepared to assume his responsibility. He's letting others speak. He will not speak. He don't know what to say to get America vexed. He don't know what to say to get Venezuela vexed. So they just stay quiet. That's what I believe. But they're doing their things undercover. They're trying to put their house in order in secret. That's what I believe, Angie. They're working, but they prefer not to talk, to get us vexed. No, if they speak, we will speak more. So they prefer letting it. You see, like the deafs, the people that are dying and they're not coming out to speak. So I believe that's what they're staying silent, not to get people to speculate more or to say more things. So if they stay quiet, things will stay quiet. But they're there.
So like Emma told me in the House of Parliament, kill it. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to kill it.
Oh, voila. They're trying to kill it until. But they are watching. They're quiet to the media to we solutions. We don't know, but they're there. They are doing their things. Don't worry with them.
But come out and put our minds at ease, because y'all are the only ones y'all are the ones there. Y'all fought hard. Y'all fought hard for this historic victory. Isn't that what you said?
If they were in opposition, you would hear Philip Dupre after Alan. You would hear him. I'm sure you would have. But now, you will not hear him in a hurry, but they're there. The other thing I want to say, Maduro I don't know if he asked Brown and Antigua and Dominica to accept the refugees. Didn't he?
No, I don't think he did. I don't think from his jail cell he have privileges to call Dominica and Antigua. I don't think so. I don't think they allow him.
No, not Maduro. Sorry, I said Trump.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Trump.
Yes, he did.
If I said Maduro, I made a mistake. Trump. Listen, you think Trump is stupid?
I don't.
Trump is not stupid. Trump wants to tell these people, if you're not selling passports and that two criminals and they want you and you all have them to come to America, well, you all could accept to these people that I don't want. That's what I believe. I don't know for other people. But to me, Trump is leading them on a straw. It's Trump that's the controlling these OECS people like Antigua, Dominica, St. Vincent. I don't know for St. Lucia yet. But to me, St. Lucia will come later, because they're complying, they're doing their things, even though you don't hear them. But they're working to keep out of it. You understand? So Trump knows what he's doing. If you're not selling passports to contaminate my country, well, take the responsibility of these deportees. That's what I believe. That's what I think.
Well, you
I
see,
don't know about you.
I, I,
I don't know
I, I,
about you.
I don't think I will go that far, because here's the thing: whether
Okay.
or not
Yes.
we sell passports, it doesn't really affect America. Why?
Well,
Because we don't have visa-free access to America. We don't even have
okay.
visa-free access to Canada. So basically, that part, I
Okay.
don't think I don't think that part is of concern to them.
Okay.
But I think what is of concern is the fact that Trump is the drugs. It's the drugs coming into America. It's the deportees. I'm sorry, it's the refugees coming to America out of Venezuela because of what is going on there, you know, is because of criminal activity. That's what it is. The deport, no country, listen, no country is obligated to accept deportees that are not their people.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's true.
if I was
So
born in
why
St.
is it?
Lucia, if I was since I am a St. Lucian, the only country, if I am deported from any other country, the only country that is obligated to take me back is St. Lucia.
Solution? Yes.
I cannot
Yes.
say that I would simply, okay, I don't really want to go to St. Lucia anymore, send me to Antigua. That it doesn't work that way, you know.
Okay.
If
Okay.
St. Lucia
So why
says,
you
you know
keep
what,
doing it?
if St. Lucia says, you know what, we don't want her,
Uh-huh.
Antigua doesn't have to say we can take her. But what I think Trump is doing, eh, I
Yeah.
think this certain countries are not accepting. Like Colombia, I think Colombia it was said that they're not accepting anyone, and I think a plane they didn't allow a plane to land. So,
Yeah, I
but but
remember that.
but Trump doesn't want these people in his country, so he wants to send them anywhere else. You know, closer. Send them to Antigua or Dominica or wherever, and let them make their way home.
Ah,
But
okay.
Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, we're not obligated to help Trump with his people disposal problem. That it really is not our
Okay.
problem. But they're doing
Okay.
this to stay on his good side because he has now issued a travel ban
Okay.
and saying that I'm not giving any of your citizens visas. So they're trying to
Okay.
basically put butter under his foot and say, "Hey, we're
Oh,
your friends.
okay.
Let's do that for you. We'll help you." You know, that kind of
Understand.
thing. You understand? But
Understand.
and while
Yes.
Trump is saying, "Okay, fine, if you want to help me, maybe I can help you out." Okay, so anybody that's coming to ask for a visa from your country to enter our country, they will have to deposit 15,000 US dollars. Now they don't have the
Okay.
money. They're not going to be
And,
we're not even going to
okay.
accept the application, you know, that kind of thing. But it's not
Yes.
really we're not obligated. No country is obligated to do that.
Yes.
None.
Okay. I thought it was, since we are selling
No, no, no.
passports to Russian and all kind of people, I thought it was that, but you explain
Yeah.
why he is doing it. Okay. That's what I have to say for now. I'll continue listening to you.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, bye
I'll
bye.
bye. No.
Yeah, so the CIP is another matter altogether. And the CIP, they the problem with the CIP, the direct impact is more for these countries, the 143 countries that we have visa-free access to, meaning the European nations, you know, in the Schengen area, other OECS countries. These are the persons that are concerned about the CIP. And if you notice, England, which was one of the countries that we had visa-free access to, has said, nope, sorry, no, 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 no. You're going to have to apply for a clearance because I want to make sure that you are not a CIP citizen, that you're actually my people. You understand? Canada has stopped accepting visa-free entry. Well, they've taken away our visa-free entry. Although I remember that Alan Shastney was trying to smooth things out and try to say, hey, let's talk about this. Maybe we can, maybe we can work something out. And then you saw Canada replying with that electronic clearance and the fact that you don't have to travel over there, you can do it online. Baby steps were being taken, baby steps on the way to us resuming our visa-free relationship with Canada. But all of that, we haven't heard anything about that. That's another question I want to ask. Do we know? Oh, we have a caller on the line. Good afternoon to you, caller. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, MG.
Hi, could you turn down the volume of your radio, please?
I did.
Thank you. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
MG, we have a situation by VG, though, VG. VG Beach.
What's going on?
It's about, I think today must be about the 5 to 6 days that happening. The water, the sewage water, I don't know if it's overflowing. And it's all on the road like a swimming pool. You could imagine people there by the beach coming in and taking beach chairs to come and enjoy the beach had to leave.
Oh my God! And where is this sewage water coming from? Actually,
it's coming from the cesspool, from the cess they have, because they have the how you call that again, the one that when it full it's falling out.
Oh, you mean the overflow? I
Yes, and the situation is very, 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 very bad. Wow. They told the authority about it, but up to now the authority come and do nothing yet. I mean, the people paying the money, they renting they have the restaurant, some of the restaurant which is they have think the last restaurant at the end, which is they will have to close.
Oh my goodness!
Very bad, very bad. You understand? And up to now, the authority hasn't done nothing to come and try to address this problem to the people. That is very, very sad. Tourists leaving. They by the beach, then the chair, they can't take the smell, the people have to move.
And caller, let me ask you, who exactly, I mean, is this sewage water or sewage, is it raw sewage coming from the city of Castries? Is it coming from VG? You have no idea? You don't?
That one coming from VG.
VG.
Because they have this Sockaway right there.
Okay.
Sockaway is there. So most of the time they have to come and empty it, but it looks like a couple of days they hasn't come and empty it. So that is the problem there right now there. The smell is very bad. You could imagine by the beach they're waiting for some people to leave.
Oh my goodness. Are you a taxi driver, sir?
Yes, I do.
Wow. So, but who is, I'm trying to figure out, is this, I know Wasco is the water and sewage authority, or well, company now. Are they the ones responsible for fixing this or dealing with this situation, or is it something?
No.
So would that be the Castries?
Sewage company is the one that responsible for that. Not Wasco. And this is disgusting.
Of course.
You have tourists coming in your country, coming and enjoy the beach, and the people have to leave before the time. The people have to run.
I can imagine. I can imagine. This is a horrible situation.
And up to now, you all come in and address that. Send the people with the trucks and them to come and pump that. If you see you go VG there right now, it's like a swimming pool along the road full of that sewage water, black, and smelling.
Oh my God.
I don't understand. I don't know what's going on in this country.
That is a very serious situation, and I hope the authorities responsible or somebody related to them or associated with them are listening to you. And I hope
I meet somebody there that working with the government.
Mm-hmm.
I tell her about it. She said they are already addressing it, but it looked like the restaurant that at the end, it looked like they have to close it. They have a guy there that renting some beach chairs there, I believe. They will have to close it there because you can't put people on a chair and this kind of stuff.
Exactly. That is totally unacceptable, and especially on a day like today when we have 4 cruise ships in the harbor. These people are coming here to enjoy the beach. This is disastrous. Yeah.
They have to do something about that as quick as possible. Tomorrow, because we have cruise ship, and that's the only these people that want to go to that beach much more than Rodney Bay. You can mod Rodney Bay. There's a lot of time. There's a lot of time with the traffic.
Yeah.
Look at over 40 minutes in the traffic trying to go Rodney Bay and pick up some people like that.
Wow.
So people are using that for a closer, the access to go Rodney Bay. So they're just taking it right there to make it easier for them. But if it's so the thing going there, and nobody is looking into this.
Have any of the media houses been called to come in and take note of this situation? Has anyone tried that? Maybe
they have a guy there. He said, "Boy, once you're not supporting the party, the fellow will victimize you. So be afraid." He went in chairs, and this morning he was trying to shift the chairs a little higher up. He said, "They tell him he can't move it. They tell him they can't move the chairs higher because the white way he said." So he tell me, "Well, sometimes when you don't support the party, you get in victimization." So.
Wow. And that shouldn't be, caller. That should not be the case at all.
I thought that the same people that say they want everybody to come together with one love. And once you talk anything against the government, you get in victimization. Anyway, Angie, that's the situation there right now.
Thank you so much for praising me.
It don't fall in no deaf head.
Thank you so much for praising me of this situation, and I promise you I will try to find some answers that I can bring to the public on this situation. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it.
Welcome.
Have a wonderful day.
So much.
Yeah. Well, guys, you heard it, and I'm getting some messages. Somebody saying, Angie, this sewage problem has been going on for almost a year now, and the government has done nothing about this at VG Beach. That is quite disgusting. I need to find out who is responsible for this situation, because it's almost like we have another call on the line. Good afternoon to you, caller. You are on the air.
Afternoon, Angie. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I was just listening to the caller who called a few moments ago about this VG situation with the water.
Yeah, the sewage water
on the road.
Mm-hmm.
A couple days ago, I think I saw somebody posted on Facebook all this sewage water on the road in VG.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Angie, if this has been going on for a few years now, the question I have is, where's the government? Where is the government of St. Lucia? It is their responsibility to have this cleaned out. And it's not Wasco's business. This is the business of the country to have the government to have that Sockaway cleaned out. It is in
the reason I mentioned Wasco is because I know that they are the authority responsible for sewage. But if it is a backup in a sewage system, and
that's right. It's not that they're building a sewage system and
right.
Come and give them guidelines.
Right.
And we have companies. There's one company in particular with a big truck who comes and empties out people sewage systems when it's overflowing, whether it be their homes, hotels, wherever.
Right.
They come and they empty it out into a truck.
So
and they take it away. So why? Let me tell you.
Let me ask you a question. Hold on.
In St. Lucia, you know.
Hold on.
I told you also,
Hold on, caller. Let me ask a question.
Sorry.
Who does VG? I'm just thinking that VG falls under the auspices of the Castries City Council, right?
Of course, it would fall on the Castries City Council. What other city council is there? What other council is there to be handling it? It is the Castries City Council, and it is Stevenson King's constituency as well. Where are the members of the government?
I've been asking
Where
that
are the
question.
MPs? We are not hearing anything from them. Have they gone to sleep?
I've been asking this question.
It is the beginning of the year, and we need to see some work happening in St. Lucia, for crying out loud. Are you all hibernating? And gee, this is let me tell you, this thing on the road is toxic, you know.
Yeah, it is. And did you? And this is affecting people's livelihoods, because according to the taxi driver, I mean, he says that he brought guests to the beach and the people are cutting their trip short because they cannot stand the smell.
Listen, they didn't know we had cruise. I guess they wouldn't know we have cruise ships coming in today because the government no longer SLASPA no longer controls the cruise ships that come into St. Lucia, etc. It is GPH or whoever.
No, but the tourism authority would know. They would know because there is a schedule. There is a schedule that is published, so they would know. And not only that. Aside from the tourism, he is saying that people's livelihoods are being affected. Okay, taxi drivers the trips are being cut short. The restaurant has to close. The guy renting chairs on the beach has to stop.
It just started. When did we have an election? December. The year has just started. This government they have been re-elected, according to them. They've been re-elected to finish St. Lucia off. To finish it off, because that's what's going on. This is vexing, Angie. This is vexing. It's 2026, a new year. There is so much going on in the Caribbean. There is so much going on in St. Lucia. We're not hearing a word. We're not seeing anything. We're not hearing anything from any member of the cabinet, no member of the government. The last we heard of Ernest Hilaire was him telling us to go and hibernate.
Are you sure he said we should go on? Are you so? Hold on. Are you sure he said we should go and hibernate, or they are going to hibernate? Because
no, he said they should go hibernate.
But who's the data he was talking about?
Because stop complaining about the numbers. Accept whatever we're given for the results of the election. It is over. That we should go on. They should go and hibernate. He said it.
Yeah, but
I'm saying it because I want to say it. I'm not crazy.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
If anybody else have seen or heard the tape, call Angie, because Angie, I haven't had time to send the tape, but I will send it.
Yeah, no. You're missing my point entirely, caller. I'm asking, was he saying that they are going to hibernate? Because it seems that's what they have done. Where are they?
He was asking us to go and hibernate and keep quiet about. But it looks like whatever they're pushing on us, they're doing it. It looks like they're in hibernation.
They're leading by example, caller.
Because St. Lucia, this is a reactive government as well. If you want the bush cut on the side of the road, call Timothy Polio, call Newspin, and just say that the bush is overgrowing at the side of the road, this, that, and the other, whatever. And within a couple of days, you'll see people cutting the bush. Now, somebody put this out on Facebook. It is on the internet, for a few days now. You'll tell me that King and them are sleeping on them, City council is sleeping on them. The mayor of the city is sleeping. Who's in charge of local government? Richard Frederick is. Are you sleeping? Are you still on vacation?
I did see him singing on a stage. Maybe he has made a career shift. I don't know. I saw him decked out in red and white.
I don't even think what these people doing there is funny, you know. That's not even funny. This is serious.
It is.
St. Lucia is deteriorating. I'm driving through St. Lucia and it's deteriorating. There's bush everywhere. The gutters are filled. Or let me say the bridge where they had all their flags in shock.
Mm-hmm.
In shock. The bridge where they put the how many millions of flags that they put before election, that's deteriorating now. If you see the river full of bush and silt and debris.
So what is going on?
It's dirty, nasty, smelly. But I tell you, to keep a nation, keep a people down and backward is to bring the nation backward, is to not develop the nation, is to make the nation into what it is not. That is how you keep people backward.
This is
how you
extreme.
do it. You let sewage start coming all on the street. You let bush take over. You let the gutters fill up. You let it start. You're actually taking the country from being a clean place with proper roads, and making it into a dump. This is what you're voted for in St. Lucia. Take it. That's what you want. I'm tired of this nonsense. And we sit in our bums, they're not doing anything. Solution, sit down there. Stay there. Sit there hard. When solution become Haiti under your backside, you will understand what's really going on, according to Mr. Bermuda. You're dumb, stupid, and backward people. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you very much for that, caller. Yeah, that was a bit much. But honestly, guys, I'm getting messages with people saying that, is this still going on? Meaning that this sewage issue, and I got another message, somebody saying that this is going on for almost a year now. And nobody has done anything? That has not gotten to the news? Come on, people. Because it seems that the only way to get things done in this country is to put it out there. But I mean, I was asking for our leaders on matters of foreign policy, but to hear that even the government ministry machinery is stalled, because VG Beach is a very popular spot with locals and with visitors. It's right next to the airports. It's right next to George F.L. Charles Airport. Taxi drivers operate from there. Restaurant owners operate from there. Guys who are renting stuff on the beach, they operate from there. Visitors who come to our country through the region, they come in through that area, through that airport. Sometimes they're waiting for a flight. They're relaxing on the beach at one of the restaurants. Somebody's saying it was on the news about 2 weeks ago and somebody was interviewed about it. Why hasn't anything been done? What is going on? This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable, and we're getting some very strong reactions on the Facebook platform. Let me just read some of these messages to you guys. We will also be getting a call earlier on the WhatsApp platform. Caller, if you are still listening, Feel free to call now. The airwaves are open. You're listening to Hard Talk here on Fire 107.7 FM. The number to call if you want to let your voice be heard or lend your voice to the discussion is 572-3473. So, somebody is saying here, there is one of the ministers in St. Lucia who still has his name in the American files. He better watch out. Another person is saying, Angie, the ministers are on FB posting 24/7. Yet we don't need them to be posting on social media. We need them in their offices working. Another person says, Cuba is not accepting any of their deportees. Well. Well, in a way, Cubans are defecting, so maybe the regime might feel a certain way about that. Another person is saying, my 2 cents, I think the St. Lucian government has already accepted the deal with the USA to take deportees before the list came out. Wouldn't they have told us about that though? I don't know. Then again, we never know anything. Somebody is exclaiming, this is still not fixed. Wow. Another person is asking, where are they? Well, if I don't know. Another person is saying, it is effluent waste. This is happening all over town. The slabs cannot staunch the stench. The effluent waste is under the streets all over town. It is an assault on your airways each morning. With the great management of Peterson Francis, former mayor of Castries, this situation was unheard of. I have to say, this is the first time that I'm hearing about this waste situation happening, and I don't understand. Another person says they are having secret meetings, they are hiding from reality, Washington, CIP, etc., etc. Somebody says, no, the MPs are enjoying expensive wine on a big work day whilst Lucians are suffering. Another person says, St. Lucians, we should be happy for our beloved Alan Shastney. His mind is at rest and peace. I voted UWP, but with all those borrowing and other involvements the SLP has put St. Lucia through, who do you think is supposed to clean up after they have done their mess? To those friends that were mad at me when I was celebrating UWP lost, I hope you can see and understand now. The bell rang, but the handwriting on the wall, as seconds, minutes, hours, and years comes, they will feel what was ignored. Another person says, caller, they got what they wanted. They are in office until next election. Then they will come out to work. Somebody else is saying, we're not hibernating. They should go hibernate because Trump is coming for their butt. I don't like the sound of that. Another person says, if Hilaire said something like that, I find that he is rude and out of place. Another one says, let them stay down, people vote for them. Another person says, well said, caller, backwards, but all they can say is the mood is red, let them take it. Somebody is saying 38 days after elections. Somebody says, sister, I can feel your frustration. You go, sis. And finally, Hilaire is untouchable, just like Murdero. Okay. Just like Murdero was, his rope has ended. Hilaire rope will end with consequences. God is not mocked. My people, there it is again. Do you all have Medicare, Medicaid, and health insurance? No, we do not. But St. Vincent does. Yes, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Goodwin Friday, the new Prime Minister, has pledged to implement the national health insurance. Guys, this situation is troubling. It's concerning. It's vexing. according to the previous caller. A sewage issue, a sewage spillover is not something that should take this long to address. As we have pointed out, there is a Water and Sewage Authority, company now, Water and Sewage Company, who is supposed to deal with this. There is the mayor of Castries. Although I don't know if her tenure is up. I know that the mayor of Castries was, as far as I know, Geraldine Lendor Gabriel. With the new administration, I don't know if her tenure has been interrupted. I don't know if she is still the mayor, if she continues, because again, these offices are appointed and they're not elected officials. I don't know if a new mayor will be appointed. I just don't know. And I have not heard anything. And that is why I am saying, where are the ministers? At the height of the cruise season. At the height of the cruise season, an issue like that should not even be an issue. Even if the ministers are unavailable. But we have the Ministry of Ports and Transport, the Ministry of Infrastructure. What are they doing? What are they doing? Because the ministry, because the caller was saying that Shock Bridge, that river needs desilting. Where is the ministry? Even if the ministers, because ministers, as much as we want to say it, ministers do not run ministries. Ministries are run by permanent secretaries and ministry officials, ministry departments. Where is the department responsible for sewage and for desilting rivers? Where is the one responsible for ensuring that the maintenance of the country continues? Where is the mayor of Castries? She's not a minister. She's not an elected official. Why isn't she working to deal with this? We have a caller on the line. Good afternoon to you, caller. You are on the air.
Angie, I had to call back. Just even so that solutions are away. Choiseul has just gone through a bout of the garbage not being picked up.
Yes, I saw that.
Okay? All right? Solid Waste, I think, has finally written a letter after certain people like Jimmy and certain people started complaining that there was that their waste is not being picked up. Okay? Now, Angie, I tell you, St. Lucia is just better. Before St. Lucia turns to a Haiti, we need to do something. Let us not sit there and talk. This is 2026. We need to stand up and take our country back.
I think so too.
Everything is falling apart in this country. Now, there are a couple of things I have to do this week. I'm going to do them, and I will report back how smoothly it was to get them done. I will, when I head into certain departments. Because I'm telling you, I've had it up to my hair, my longest strand of hair on my head.
Thank you for that update, caller.
So garbage is also not being collected. Thank you, Angie.
Okay, thank you very much. I did see that post. Where persons in Choiseul were complaining that their garbage was not being picked up after the holidays. I saw another post where someone was showing garbage from a business place in an alley spilling all over the street. And this person was saying that there was a fee associated with that garbage disposal, and the business owner is either unable to pay or has not paid, and so the garbage is there and it's an eyesore. What is going on? Like I said, even if the ministers are not available, but the government ministries, their machinery keeps on ticking, or it is supposed to keep on ticking. Did everybody go on vacation at the same time? Somebody's saying, good afternoon, Angie. Can you teach old dogs new tricks? Even if it's a new government, same old khaki pants. Well, it's soiled khaki pants now, if these reports are to be believed. Somebody says here, there is a problem with the citizens' health. Oh, we have another caller. Good afternoon, caller. You are on the air.
Angie, I need to change my voice, my accent, and all of that. So let me start with you. Go patois then. Angie, listen.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they're on the, I think it was the cul-de-sac road.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a BMW? Somebody's vehicle fell in open trench on that road last night or early this morning or something.
I
mean, it was
serious?
last night because there was no light and stuff. We need to start reporting all of these things. We need to start reporting them. I tell you, they would have to go and buy me a new BMW today.
Let me tell you. And I want
They
a
would
new
have
model.
to go on, because I don't want to touch that vehicle again. They would have to go and get me a brand new BMW today.
My goodness.
An open trench, no cones, nothing to say that it's open, and the vehicle plunges into it with the driver in it. The person could have lost their life.
My God.
Angie, I'm reporting everything I see, everything I hear. Once I know it's factual, I'm calling and reporting it.
I
it's
would
about
too.
time.
Thank you for that, caller.
Thank you, Angie.
Yeah,
Thanks.
okay. Mm-hmm. Somebody is sending me a message. It says, good afternoon. It's 2 months that we have no water in Degazon. It was raining all of last month. How could... Guys, is this for real? Is this for real? Are you guys pranking me here? Are you pranking me? Sewage water there for almost a year on VG Beach. Nothing is being done. Garbage taking over the streets of Choiseul. Nobody's picking it up. No water for over 2 months in Degazon. Somebody saying, good day, Angie. Is St. Lucia experiencing a shortage of sugar, garlic, and onion? Because the people from the south are complaining about a shortage. Really? Is this the pattern? That whenever this country, this administration comes into office, we have shortages of essential items? Do you remember last year, and I was speaking about it yesterday, when they first came into office, there was no sugar and flour for months. While other Caribbean islands were saying, we don't have that problem. We buy from the same place. There's no shortage. Are these people manufacturing shortages? Are they manufacturing inflation. What is going on here? And the reports just keep coming. Somebody is saying, oh my God, wow. Hold on. Oh my God, wow. So only St. Vincent that knows where their health insurance monies are coming from. St. Lucians, soon y'all will cry. God, don't sleep. Somebody is saying it's not a new administration, it's a continuing administration. Yes. Somebody says, but they all were available on Tuesday celebrating Sean Edwards' birthday. Is that so? Another person says, hi Angie, Happy New Year 2026. Welcome back. Greetings from Wales, UK. Last year, this is what we were talking about when a country has an incompetent government. Credibility means nothing. They feel like they have no obligation to let the people know what's happening. If it was Shas in power governing, the media fraternity would be all over his administration asking questions. Exactly. Another person says, come on, what is going on? Didn't they just elect a PM administration? This is sickening. I'm in the US and so upset. Somebody says, just by hearing these things, I am having a headache. Somebody saying, yes, Angie, no brown sugar for more than a month and no onions at any supermarket. What? Now, honestly, my mom has been saying to me, I need onions, I need garlic, when you come home, try to pick some up. But sometimes I leave so late and I'm tired. But is it an actual shortage? Because I know she shops in the community shops. She was saying that she needed that. And I should look for it in the supermarket. And I haven't even really been paying attention. But you're telling me that there is an actual shortage? Guys, heads up. Do you remember that post I read from Venezuela on Monday? Where the guy was saying that imports were interrupted? Where the guy was saying that things started deteriorating very quickly after Chavez and Maduro came on the scene? Are we seeing a recreation of that mess happening here in St. Lucia? Listen to what we've heard today. Shortages of basic items, sugar, onions, garlic. I bet you somebody's going to tell me that there's a shortage of flour pretty soon. Government institutions just simply taking the day off in the height of the tourist season. Raw sewage. A sewage spillover, something that you just call the company, they come in, they clean it up. On one of our major, on the beach that is closest to the cruise port. So the most accessible beach, the place where everybody is going to go quickly so they can go there, spend time on the beach, come back, experience the country a little bit, and then make it back to the boat on time. People, they cannot access, they cannot stay on the beach. People's livelihoods are being interrupted. The guy who's renting the chairs has to stop. The lady who is operating the restaurant has to close. Not because they're unable to work. Not because they are not showing up or they are doing anything wrong or they are contravening the law or there is no money to be made, but simply because a government agency has not done their job. The smell of raw sewage seeping up from the gutters in the city Listen carefully, guys. Seeping up in the city. Now, guess what? When the cruise passengers arrive, those of them who do not go down to Soufrière or to Canaries or anywhere else around the island, a great many of them have begun to stay in the city. They walk from the cruise port to Jeremy Street. They sit by the bars. They enjoy a drink. They enjoy some local food. They just walk around. I've seen them. I see them all the time. They don't even take a taxi. They just walk around. I saw some people walking all close to Villa apartments this morning. And they had hats on saying family cruise. They were just walking. Okay? The smell of that sewage is going to make these people turn around and head straight back to the ship. Because you don't want me coming down in that kind of smell. And the next time, they're going to go and post on their social media, post on travel advisory websites. I went to St. Lucia. It was a beautiful place, but the city stank of raw sewage. If I were you, I wouldn't go there. What do you think is going to happen? Before these people... caller. Good afternoon, caller. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Jen. How are you?
I am...
I know this topic has you a bit upset.
I am upset.
Yeah, but let me tell you. From last year, this was thing that thing going on in the VG area, you know. From last year. They spoke about it, and I mean, I'm surprised to hear that thing is still going on there. Because last year, I drove in that water, and I saw it was a normal water, and next thing, when I get to my home, my car stink. I had to hose them all down in the car.
Wow.
You understand? So it's not a new thing there. Right? Now, secondly, what I want to just remind you of something. You spoke about no place for the government to have the cabinet, to sit and have the cabinet.
No. To have cabinet briefing.
Okay, to have cabinet briefing. Now, let me tell you, the government is too hypocrite. They know all where to go to have the briefing. Okay? Upstairs, the NIC have a big conference room there.
I know.
Now, I don't know if you can remember, I think it was the second term of Kenyan Tony, where they were working on Parliament building, and that's where they held Parliament.
Yes, that's true.
You remember?
Yes.
And that is where I think that exchange of word between I know, between he and Cedric.
Right.
Okay? So, don't worry these people, my dear. The people, let me tell you something, the Labour Party just believe the 180,000 people in this country are monkeys, and that is it. Right? That's what they believe. There are so many places. Let me tell you, Foreign Affairs used to be upstairs the Capacino. I don't know if you know that.
Of course I know that.
Okay. There was a conference room there. So, I mean, if these people, let me tell you, Angie, I don't know, because once I start sharing, I might say what I'm not going to say. Because these things getting people upset with that.
Listen, I am well aware that every single government building on the waterfront has a conference room.
Okay? So what I'm talking about, I mean, they don't want to have it. I guess they just don't want to have it, and they don't want to have the mission.
That's what I'm saying too.
They don't want to have it. And I always tell these people, it's not all of us in this country that are monkeys, you know. I'm telling you, because let me tell you something, Angie. Most of us who have a primary education, we see ahead of most of those who have secondary education, you know, and they went to university. Because when I look at the guys, the group of government we have there now, men governing this, men and women, when I look at them, with all the doctorates they have, who have doctor, who have this, who have that, when I look at this, I don't know, their thinking is under their feet, and that's it.
It's almost as if, caller, that they're not academic doctors. They're more like bush doctors, don't you think?
Well, there are
different types of doctors.
And bush doctors used to save lives before you.
That is true.
So if I met you a group bush doctor,
I'm so sorry.
Because there wasn't, because the bush doctors now used to save lives. Okay? But anyway, my dear, have a good afternoon. I'm listening to you.
Thank you very much, caller.
Okay, and bye-bye.
Yeah. Somebody is being very specific. They're saying that pool of water is located after the second speed bump. Really? But that is close to the airport. That is close to the embassy. Don't they care that the French embassy is most likely being, or could possibly be affected by this sewage smell? Come on, people. What is going on? This is why, listen, I love being here on the radio, but I really miss being out in the field. And I think this year I am going to put my shoes on and I'm going to go out in the field because I need to ask questions. I need to find out what is going on. I'm going to have to... Oh, the phone lines are going crazy this afternoon. Good afternoon to you, caller. You are on the air.
Bonjour, Andy.
Bonjour.
Bon Dieu, bless you. Moi, content de voir.
Thank you so much, caller.
Mon demande pour vous. Andy, moi, quand vous santé, la vie, et vraiment de bon Dieu, beaucoup, tous les jours, et puis la force, là, quand il y a un studio là pour guider et protéger.
Thank you so much.
Andy, ou pas qu'à notice. Plane actuellement calé ou attendre cette plane là les qualité plane
Caller, could you turn down the volume of your radio, please? Because mom not turn on the radio.
Okay.
This is really crazy, people. We've just elected a brand new administration. Well, not a brand new administration. We've just given this administration an extended tenure, and everything is falling apart at the same time. What is going on?
Bon.
You was uteka di mob esmo pate ka
pas qu'à ten plane qui passe en les actuellement often. Moi pas si ça hélicoptère ma have ça y avait moi même quand notice plane because l'année passée parce qu'il y a plane quoi ma have si c'est bah yo quoi spray ma have mais moi ça m'a notice spray c'est plane là attends yo quoi parce que talala yon passé plus bonnet yon passé so ma have si c'est dem là moi pas moi même ça moi c'est ici bonjour moi ni pour notice bible because moi même pas blanc ham yo moi pas ça qui aller. Et bon Dieu toujours nous en parole your sin shall find you out there.
Now caller, let me ask you a question. What area are you calling from?
Now we take
Castry.
Oui.
Because I'm di ale platform la you ka polo de sewage la you ka passe Castry. Est-ce que ou ja exove ça?
Maka sorti comme ça.
Ah, ou pas sorti, OK.
Mais bon, what about santé? Qui ça qui santé? Santé pas health?
Well, no, munaka di, c'est pas health, munaka di landlord de, vieux
lord de. Mais landlord de health ou pas là?
Well.
Et qu'on va comme ni là envoyer au docteur le health là aller. C'est ça qu'on dit là. Je dis on est 10 on est dans beaucoup de pas regarder pour ça. Depuis l'année passée, moi tout le monde était couillé pour ça hein. Moi tout un taxi driver était couillé l'année passée hein. Because Saudi we have to have good health and I mean, children all around, they're supposed to have good health. Pas ni côté, yo sans les malades. Vous comprenez ça, Nadia?
Oui.
Comment nous avons l'hôpital qui est tout bayade, hein?
Well, Kola, ou pas changer yo te ban nou building, là?
Mais te bon, depuis le Irene, a été là, il dit que le septembre, oui, c'est fort. Ou pas changer?
Well.
Là, j'ai dit, l'hôpital a fait en septembre. Là, c'est la première. Comment l'année qui finit là, il dit ça, on building, il baille.
Well, peut-être yo pote di nou ki le septembre. De le nou ni pou espérer. Là, dans l'autre septembre qui vini, peut-être c'est ça yo ka parler ou pas quoi?
C'est pas là, n'est pas dit ça. T'inquiète là, oui, le ministre a dit ça.
Well.
En Dieu. So, comment ça que tu as dans l'année? Hein?
Ma savent. Aseli?
Eh bien, maybe yo ka doublé.
Moi pas savent, c'est moi t'a apprendre le monter l'école yo di ça celle qui te ni tous les l'année. Ma si yo mépris, peut-être yo mépris quoi ou pas quoi?
Moi c'est septembre moi. Moi c'est septembre il va s'arriver, vos d'ouvrir il va arriver, vos c'est ça moi à moyen. Moi c'est septembre bonne.
OK.
Et yo non comme ka ouais. Moi c'est monde qui aime regarder news. Gawe yo comprend tout petit vent, mais ka oui ka fait bon si chalet a pensé vent mais là et que tout dit ko ramène yo. Qu'on attend sur news moun ka dit moun pa ni l'hôpital OK you, moun a sous stretcha, moun encore na dit fort pas parler, moun tout partout à balcon. Bon ko ramène c'est vent mais ça. Là yo ka penser petit vent mais ça fait tout ça. Instead pour ça moun a prend l'argent. Et pour bagay qui soye pour tout le monde receive from lui. Vous comprenez ce que je dis, Andy? C'est mon qui prend l'argent, c'est vite pas chaud. Et, m'a dit, pas ni pour garder vous, mais pas qu'on Andy. Business for pleasure. Business for pleasure pour nous tous.
Caller, I don't know what to tell you.
So, instead, vous êtes plus, c'est comment ça y est.
Isam ça?
Mais pas isam, on dit, pas isam. Pas isam. Because c'est petit bout là, moi pense, pas bon, c'est peinture, en fait, petit bout, moi, j'ai amené moi. Maintenant, qui ça qui là? Qui ça qui là? Hein? Moi, on cherche petit caille. On tire la porte ouverte.
Oh, that is the Bido Park.
Bido Park is that?
Vendors Arcade, caller.
Lavender's Arcade Gaya seulement.
No. That's a place that was built. C'est un place yo me pour me moun qui te ka vend tout partout en le bon printry là. Yo me tout si moun nan an se ti kay sa yo di yo kay primaire. Yo di c'est progress.
How dit?
Progress yo kouye.
Progress. Qui ça? Ça va pas plywood qui la plywood. C'est pas plywood.
Well, caller manye yo di la se moun nan te ka assis bo chimia ek twe so yo pon yo me yo under kay.
Mais c'est moun ka paye un petit l'argent. Mais quand yo me yo le même petit l'argent yo ka paye?
Non, yo ka paye.
Et quoi progress là ya?
Well, I don't know, caller.
Progress là c'est moun nan is pressure.
Caller, maman pas vraiment assez l'école moi répondre c'est quand tes suggestions ça ou ka moi là ou ça.
Yo ti yo want $3. Et yo met toi dans ce petit la porte ça là. Ça vous ne pouvez encore. Bon, laisse 4 semaines commencer à faire mal. Ou pas que mon ni fait ça?
Well, I don't know, caller. That was the explanation that was given, that the people would be better off. It would be more aesthetically pleasing. They would attract more customers. All of that. Oh.
Et puis tu vas la camille. Tu vas la camille.
Well, Moussa ide ou là, anyway.
Moi-même cadeau, on dit, on nous pouvait dire cette liste.
Oui.
Nous pouvons dire pays parce que moi ni était 1 year en dit première fois moi quand c'est bagay ça là c'est plus ici on donne c'est plus ça parce que côté négocier ou va sentir bien côté si tu vas faire mal ça comprend ça
c'est pour ya ka fait tout faire mal am kola
souvenir pour gagner bail là au bouteille. Ça ou aujourd'hui on pas des remonter hijack li ça tout va être normal.
Well, but
c'est qu'on longtemps mon t'es capable de dire well take it I'll finish it for you pas encore.
But caller we got you te ba nou VAT free de ou pas ta rien jour ça.
Ça il est cliché. Non c'est pareil ça. Ça pour te bail free c'est galvanisé puis plywood.
Well,
c'est ça bien été fait attendre. Là moi commission nous habitons quand commission c'est cher. Mais plywood là, ils disent c'est comme l'argent ou te qui ça yo hier. Il y a des gens qui disent aux jeunes bénéfices, Beban de ça.
Well,
Eh bien, cette liste est finie, hein, Angie? Cette liste est finie.
well, c'est ça, yo vote pour. Qui ça yo te ka di? E-ring. Yo te di ring the bell, e-ring. So, isa ma ba yon bon fait, mais ma have, ma sa yon do
Eh
la,
bien,
madame.
ça, moi, bon Dieu, quand il vient tout à l'heure, et que your sin shall find you out. Ou fait high low, jump low, ça qui dit pour faire ça, qu'il fait. Et moi, quand je dis, bon Dieu, protect nous tout un pays, c'est possible. Because quand il y a un start, ouais, là où on montre que quoi, start, qui va start pièce, c'est ça qu'il y a ici.
Wow. Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very
Anyway,
much.
have a blessed day, and I'm happy you back.
Thank you.
And I get listening to you. Very secret, hi. And you, I want to sympathize with Lisa family, Lisa Joseph.
Yeah, that was a hard one, caller.
Oh my God! On Thursday, I used to sit down and watch her in the night.
That was really tough.
I will miss her. I will miss her because the last time when I see her, I say, how come the face is so? And then, to me, I don't see her for the Christmas often on the TV. And I'm praying for her. I was praying for her. But right now, I'm praying for the family, for God to give them strength. And I know I will miss Lisa because she was a true journalist.
Yeah, she was.
Lisa wasn't putting water in her mouth to speak. Whether right is, she said it.
Yep.
Whether wrong is, she saying it.
That's true.
That was a person like that we had once in St. Lucia. But anyway, God is still alive and God is there. God will send one like her for us.
Thank you.
Because when I look at the journalists these days, they have to have the notes to say what they have to say. They're not saying it they don't say it how they see it. Saying the thing how they want. But I am praying God will change the St. Lucia for us because we don't raise in St. Lucia like that. God bless you, Angie.
Thank you so much.
And you doesn't send song, eh? I want a song for Lisa. And also, I have a friend that passed away too.
Okay, but we don't really do requests on this station.
Not requests, because
later on.
I see they're showing Lisa, you know?
Yeah.
And Lisa was... Anyway, God bless.
Thank you so much for that
If you
call.
can send a lovely Christian song for Lisa, God will take care of her. Even though she passed away, God will take care of her. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. I don't even know what to say. I still have not gotten over Lisa's loss myself. Anyway, but let me turn my attention to the Facebook platform. We have some messages there. One is saying, LOL, you all, the whole world needs to repent. The shortage is just starting, and it is far beyond any governments of ours or elsewhere. Shortages are happening long time, but we so political, we blind to what's coming biblically. Okay. Somebody says, Angie, what goes around comes around. Do good so good comes your way. I will not have any headache for St. Lucians. Enjoy your victory. Angie, some of them don't care. They are just praying for the next election so they can get some money. That's the life they want to live because they are lazy. Somebody says that pool of water is located after the second speed bump. Another one says, I cry, we bush doctors. Another person says, always an excuse why the other countries in the Caribbean don't have that problem. That is a question. Somebody says, yes, my sister, put on your boots, honey. Another person says, Angie, you need to create an information platform so that you would be more informed by the citizens. Well, they can always message me here and on the WhatsApp platform, 572-3473. It's right there. Somebody says, Angie, it's about 3 months we haven't had water at Piat, Grand Riviere, Groseilliers, Faustin Development. This is unbelievable. Somebody says, caller, these 2 helicopters are carrying passengers to and from the airports. Another person says, LOL, hot like fire. The lady is killing me. Speak it loud, my lady. Somebody says, 2 weeks they have not collected any garbage in Choiseul. The garbage is piling up by the side of the road. Wow. Another person says, Angie, listening to your preamble, which I appreciate so much, I believe you will be the voice for the voiceless to continue the job for our fearless journalist, Lisa Joseph. May her soul rest in the house of the Almighty. Angie, you're next in line to be the fearless reporter. Thank you. Wow, somebody saying, caller, Angie is next in line. Okay. Hot ka vwe mwen next in line pou yo pousse mwen encore. Another person is saying 758 is on autopilot. Guys, we may laugh and make fun of these things, but it is very, very serious and very, very concerning. Extremely concerning. It's almost as if there's been a stop order. And it is very, very serious. This is not a joke. There has been, and I don't know if they're neglecting to say this, but WASCO has been sending some advisories for weeks now. And all of these things are saying, and I can go through them for you guys. So since December 29th, vote for me. Oh, Jesus Christ. Somebody is saying, oh no, I'm coming home to vote for you, Angie. Let me tell you something. If there's one time you're going to see me put on my boots and run away, is if I have to sit in that House of Parliament. They push me out once, they're not getting to do it again, I can tell you that. I'm kidding. I'm not afraid. So since December 29th, WASCO has been making these announcements, and unfortunately, they were not being read out. So it says, WASCO wishes to advise the public that crews are actively working to restore service along the northern distribution line following reduced supply levels affecting some areas. To divert supply to the higher elevations on the northern network, services to Castries South will be temporarily interrupted from 10 a.m. That was last month. Okay? So during that period between December 30th and December 31st, persons from Millet to Cul-de-sac had no water. Today, WASCO is putting out a advisory, and these things have been happening for months. I'm just reading them out to you. So today, the latest one is this. It's saying the same thing. The same problem. Listen to this, the same problem, exact same wording. WASCO wishes to advise the public that crews are actively working to restore service along the northern distribution line following reduced supply levels affecting some areas. And they're saying that to divert supply to the higher elevations on the northern network, services to Castries South will be temporarily interrupted from 10 a.m. on Wednesday, January 7th to 6 a.m. on Thursday, January 8th. During this period, customers from Millet to Cul-de-sac may experience low to no water. I'm seeing a pattern, guys. I'm seeing a pattern. You're telling me that Castries South, no water during December, no water today into tomorrow. Let's check, because they post everything on here. On on December 24th, this was the day before Christmas, Wasco regrets to inform consumers that due to a damaged transmission line at Denny Riviere Dennery, the water supply to the area and its environs, including Belmont and Austin Hill, has been temporarily interrupted. Christmas Eve, no water in the valley. Then, December 23rd, service to the following communities temporarily interrupted as crews undertake urgent line repairs. Monjiro to Bonte, Bonne, Grosley, Union Hilltop Castries, Latuni, Viewfort. Has the water supply to these areas been re-established? Because people are saying that months they've had no water. And I'm going through it. Here, Black Bay to Savans Bay, and that was December 22nd. Every day, every single day, Wasco is apologizing to people. They are the only people who continue to make repairs, but the repairs are not working. December 20th, guess what? The exact same thing. The crews are working. Who are these crews that are working at Wasco, but they can never get the job done? Who are these people? December 18th, Wasco is announcing that in 2025, they laid the groundwork for critical water infrastructure upgrades to support more stable supply and improved service across the island. Where? Where did they do that? Because if people are complaining that in the north of the island, in areas where you have in areas like Grand Riviere Grosley, where is the person? Des Gazons and the like. These are areas where people come to visit. There are small hotels, there are guest houses and everything. If you laid the groundwork for critical infrastructure to improve water service delivery throughout the island, why is it that every single day there is a message going out from you to your customers saying that crews are working to fix this and fix that all throughout the island? It does not make sense. It doesn't make sense, people. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but it does not make sense to me. So Wasco is not working. People are complaining months they have no water. But I'm hearing advertisements from Wasco on the radio, on the TV, where they're asking people to collect rainwater and to conserve. Are you guys hearing them too? Because I know I'm not the only one. I don't even listen to TV and radio that much, because after coming home from work, after absorbing all of this information and repackaging it for the news and then talking about it on the show, sometimes I want to de-stress and I leave new things for the new day. So I come in early, I wake up early, and then I go through all the information all over again. What are the officials at Wasco doing? What are the officials at Solid Waste Management engaged in. Why are certain communities not receiving the services that they need? Why is garbage not being picked up in the south, in Choiseul? What is going on? Why are people in the north of the island complaining that they have no water? Somebody says we have in Bonaire low pressure, but at least you have water. Why are people, business owners and tourism operators in VG having to interrupt their livelihood because some government agency is not getting the job done? Raw sewage is on the road next to an airport. Do they understand that image is everything? Do they understand that first impressions are lasting? Picture this. A cruise passenger who has never been to St. Lucia, but that person is coming here for the first time. This person has a huge network back home. This person might be, because you don't know who those cruise passengers are. You don't know if they're travel agents. You don't know if they are tour operators. Anybody could be on a cruise ship. You don't know who these people are. You don't know if they are airline executives, if they are hotel executives. You just don't know. You don't know if they are potential investors. So this person gets to St. Lucia for the first time. Maybe their company is looking for a place to invest, to bring in a new hotel chain or restaurant chain or something. They get to St. Lucia and they say to the taxi driver, I want to go to the beach. Where's the closest beach? That taxi driver says, VG. Because again, or put it this way, when you're coming in to the harbor on a cruise ship, you have a view from the deck of VG Beach. Depending on where your cruise, what direction your cruise ship is coming from, you have a view from the deck of VG Beach. So you get to St. Lucia, you get off the ship, you say to the taxi driver, I saw this lovely beach when I was coming in. Can you take me there? And the taxi driver takes this person, first time visitor, potential investor, out to VG Beach. On the way, of course, the taxi driver wants to sell the country. So they're going to say, oh, you can get something nice to eat, some local cuisine. You know, you can rent a beach chair and just relax. The water is clear. You know, the sand is beautiful. You can have a wonderful time. You can bathe, you can swim. You know, it's beautiful. This person gets there. They get off the taxi. They're all excited. And then the smell hits them. The wind blows in their direction. And the smell hits them like a ton of bricks. It is an assault. This person grabs their family or whoever is there with them, gets back on the taxi and says, take me back to the ship. What exactly do you think this person is going to say about St. Lucia? Because when you take a bad smell, you cannot, your stomach, it affects your stomach. Your stomach gets upset. You think this person is going to be able to sample local cuisine? You think this person is going to be able to experience anything more of the island? No, it's a total turn-off. And look at how many people are being affected. The taxi driver who may have been able to entice this person after they have this wonderful, couple of hours on the beach, may have been able to entice this person. Hey, let me take you up on the Mon. There's this lovely lay-by where you can see the city unfolding below you. And maybe you could buy a few trinkets, a few souvenirs to take back home and take for your friends after you're done on the beach. That trip is gone. So the local restaurant that has the cuisine on sale, the smell of the sewage is disrupting the smell of the food. And you eat food not just with your mouth, but with your nose. That's a total turn-off. So that's one person who doesn't get to experience the tourist dollar. The guy with the beach chairs, trying to make an honest living, that smell, he's trying to inch his way up the beach to go somewhere else because the smell is interrupting his livelihood. That tourist who got there, that person doesn't want a chair. You don't want to sit down and smell that. That person on the Mon lay-by who sells trinkets, they're not going to sell anything because that taxi driver will not be able to convince that tourist to go anywhere else but back to the ship, back to the ship, back to the ship. Because if it was me, that's how I would feel. You're telling me that our authorities have not thought about this? Really? Wasco is saying to St. Lucians, I know you pay us every month to give you clean, fresh water, but we don't feel like working today, so put your bathpan outside and collect rainwater. But your bill's still coming at the end of the month, right? You know that, right? And you have to pay. Okay? Because that's the only efficient department at Wasco, the billings department. Because those guys are on the road, house to house every day, checking meters. And those bills come very efficiently, whether or not you've seen a drop of water from your pipe. Somebody is saying, where is the respect from these companies to the citizens of St. Lucia? Isn't that a shame? Shame on you, Wasco. Another person saying, seriously, Wasco, get rainwater. The rainwater is not healthy like it used to be before. They're paying you for the water. Give them good service for their health. Why should they collect water from the rain? Wasco CEO, you are disrespecting the citizens, period. Somebody says it doesn't hit like bricks, it hits like a volcano. Wow. The smell affects your health, period. Somebody says when the vehicles drive through that sewage water, they are spreading bacteria all around Castries and St. Lucia. That is true as well. Somebody says, yes, you still have to pay the bills. Think about it, guys. What is happening? So you're telling me that the Labour Party went on this huge campaign. They spent so much money. They held meetings all around the island. They campaigned. They discredited people. They attacked people. They said all of this. They did all of this to win by such a huge margin, according to them, 16-1. That is the mandate that they have been given, only for them to go to sleep now? Are they suffering from political niggeritis? I simply cannot understand what is going on. And of course, you know, some phone calls will be made because I need to know what the mayor of Castries is going to do about this sewage situation. I need to know why persons are complaining that there are shortages of brown sugar, onions, and whatever else on the supermarket shelves. And I definitely need to know why the garbage is not being picked up in Choiseul. Because this is ridiculous. Just because the government ministers are away, that doesn't mean that the government ministries stop working. That doesn't mean that the government departments stop doing their jobs. The machinery of the government needs to keep ticking. These are pertinent questions to that deserve serious consideration. There's a mayor. There are departments. And we need to understand what is going on. Now, I'm going to make these calls tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to get any answers, but whatever answers I get, rest assured I will come back here and make them known to everyone who is listening, because this is unacceptable. This is totally unacceptable. And I can't imagine why a situation like this will happen. Didn't the government say that they were putting us first? Didn't Philip J. Pierre say that he loves St. Lucia? Where is this love now? He didn't say he was putting people first this time. He said he loves us.